working. I've got 3 kids. I'm working 7 days a week. I'd got a job at the time that was. I was working 55 hours a week, basic every week, and every month when I got my money went into the bank, I was already overdrawn 500 quid by the time the money went out. So I thought, I've got to do something different here. And I got to a point where I thought, I'm not bothered if I work 7 days a week, as long as I don't worry about money anymore. The worst thing in my life is worrying about money. I can't stand it. So I started, my dad had a shop selling pushchairs and prams, like a baby shop, cots and everything. So he says, why don't you try and take all this stuff to the market, see how you get on. Donington Market, see how it is. So I started by taking it to Donington Market. I earned more money on a Sunday than I earned in this job all week. So then my job was half a day on a Saturday. So I said to my mate, could you take the van on a Saturday to a different market and I'll meet you straight from work. So I'd done 55 hours a week at work, and then met him Saturday afternoon, done Saturday afternoon, and then I'd done all day Sunday. And I'd done it for 3 years, 7 days a week, because I thought I need to have enough money in the bank, like 25 grand or whatever. I need to buy a van, a trailer, and I need to have all the stock, 25 grand in the bank as a back. So I'd done all that and then just went in and handed my notice in at work. And it was a typical thing, hand my notice in at work, shit wages, shit hours, shit everything. You can't believe it. We was going to bring you in like in the next couple of days and give you a substantial pay rise.
I remember something like happening to me when I left work. I took redundancy when I eventually left work. They said a similar thing to me, like, we can't understand why you're leaving. Like, you're young, you're going to work your way up.
Yeah. You know when people now say, ain't it hard for the kids? Well, tell me, like, basic was 55 hours a week, 18 days a year holiday, and the money was shit. So, and I'd got kids and a wife at that, and I was earning more money from 1 day a week on the market. So after that long, I packed in, started doing the market 7 days a week. Starts doing the market, got a lot of money, bought an house, bought another house, and I got to a point where I thought, I can't carry on this. This is going to kill me. Under this pressure, But I thought, once I can buy this many houses, I then have got an income back that I can pack in doing all this work, or do something different that's change it. But knowing how obsessive I am, with that, it's got to work, so I'll make it work. So after all that, I then decided to buy a seasonal business that I can't work 7 days a week. So I then I sat down one day and thought, what's seasonal that I can't be put into working all the hours? So I'm thinking, should I get ice cream van, or should I get something that I can't work in? Yeah. So I thought, do you know what's even better? A fireworks shop. Yeah. You can only open for so many days. So that was it. I bought a fireworks shop, researched everything into fireworks, and spent. You know when people will say to me now, so it wasn't someone else's business? So no, it was just a shop and opened it as a fireworks shop. Well, how did you know it was going to pay? I just knew it was going to pay. Because the first day I was sitting there and no one's coming in, I then had a load of banners made, put them all around the town. Then I put an advert here, then I dropped leaflets through everyone's door, then I'm putting posts on doing this. Until then, people start coming in, more people start coming in. Next minute, you got this successful business.
So from the first year, was it successful? Or did it take a couple of years of...
No, it was successful pretty much from the first year, because we just rammed it, straight away. It was, yeah. It was a bit different. I was renting a shop at the time and it was on the ring road, so you couldn't really miss this shop. Right. But after the pressure of the bloke I rented the shop off getting greedy because he could see I was doing all right, then I decided to buy a shop which was in a road that was not so busy on the ring road. So we then had to put a lot more effort into for people to know you're there. But we've had that shop now since 2006. So and it's been. And some people are still coming now that live in the area and say, I didn't know you was here. Do you know, 18 years later?
Yeah.
So, I'd started that, and then I was looking at winding it down. And then one day, this is what people should take a note of this, but on the other hand, it don't always work this way. So one day, how do you say it? So my balls start aching, one of my bollocks starts aching. And I'm thinking, this don't feel right, I'm feeling sick, making me feel sick. So as they say, you feel around it, and lads should do it all the time. Feel around it, make sure you ain't got a lump on it. Yeah. But mine is like a one-off thing, that the lump was in the centre of it. So
you're saying you couldn't feel?
No, I couldn't feel a lump, because generally, when you got testicular cancer, the lump is on the outside of your actual bollock, yeah?
Okay.
So you'd feel around it, and you can feel it. But mine was, Well, I'll tell you how bad it got in the end. My mate said to her, what do you keep fucking moaning about? What's right? You can't be that bad. I went, look at that fucking... My bollock was about that big. He was like, ooh! So what happened was, I went to the doctors and he said, yeah, you got a water infection, definitely a water infection. I said, all right, so give me these antibiotics. And for some reason, the antibiotics work and they took it down. Pain went off. Soon as it finished, it come back up. And this was painful, real painful. And then so then what happened was, I think I'd been back 3 times with these antibiotics. So in the end, it was that painful. I went to A&E. And when I went down the A&E, they said, oh, well, they'd done an ultrasound scan on it. And I actually said to the girl in there, just because they can't give you an answer, they say you need to go and see you wait to your GP or whatever, these results, or to speak to somebody else about the results. So I actually said to her, if you're on about Thailand again, I said, I'm actually got a flight to Thailand in 2 days' time. I'm not going to be in time to see the doctor's thing, or maybe I don't see him in time. Do you recommend I still go on this holiday? I know she can't tell me if I've got anything. She said, if I was you, I wouldn't go. Yeah. So then I thought, oh God. So the next thing is, I'm then transferred back to the hospital. So I'm at home, I'm thinking, nobody in my family's ever had cancer. So I know it's not that, it's something else. Because there's no lump on the side. Yeah. So next thing is, I'll go in to see this specialist. So I walk in, and he gets his stripes in his jacket, he gets his little thing out. He said, yeah, you've got cancer, and this was on a Thursday. He said, Tuesday, we'll have you in Tuesday for an operation. I said, what are you on about? I thought, I'd convinced myself I've definitely not, it's not cancer. Yeah. So all of a sudden it's gone straight in my head. My kids are too young for this, I can't. And I'm like,
and you're how old at this time?
I was 36.
Yeah. So you got young kids at this point?
Yeah. I've got 3 kids, and so and I'm thinking, no, my kids are too young, and I thought, I've not done anything. I've just worked all my life. I've sacrificed everything to make sure me and the kids and everything's good, and then I've not, So I remember going home and I look out on the drive at my cars and vans and everything, and I think, why have I paid for all this? If I had all this on credit and I dropped dead now, it wouldn't have mattered. I could have had a great life. So you actually look at your life a bit differently. Yeah. So the next thing is, he said, you come in on with some funny things with this. So I'll go in and say, you come into this pre-op thing. And so I had to sit down with this bloke, and he said, this is what's going to happen. He said, I shouldn't say this because some lads, if they've got it, won't go in. he said, what? I said, well, tell me what happens then. He said, well, what will happen is we cut you across here, just across the top of the groin there. He says, we've got this metal rod and we push it down into your ball sack, and then where the cut is, we actually pull it back and we pull the bollock out. I started going, and he said to me, calm down a bit, calm down. And I am asleep, I know at this point. I can visualise him having it in his hand here. He said, man. And then I think what they do is to look whether it's gone up the tube or it's contained within the bollock or what,
Well, so that's not just to extract the bollock, that's to have a look at it.
Yeah.
So they pull it all the way up.
So they actually pull it out here, and then what they do, like before, because I've had a couple of my mates that I talked to after, years ago, they'd take you, just pull it out and just take your bollock out, But then, like the tube that comes down from here, with your bollock in it, they have a look, make sure that's not got it spread into that or anything, But now what they do is they put a prosthetic one in.
Okay.
Because I think what they've probably found over years is they spoke to people 10 years later and people have gone, well, I'd rather have been... Well, you might get people, I'm a bit paranoid about a bird looking at So they actually put you one in, which actually, it might as well have been a fucking metal ball bearing because that's how it felt for about, ice cold, it's... But it's good when, when people are knee slicing in this... It don't really matter.
What stops them? Yeah, it makes your guard retention better.
They beat that bloke. He didn't even squeal when I put my knee on his bollock. But that was... I've got a few lads I train with, and one of the boxing coach I train with now, he went through the same thing. Yeah. But 90% of the time, what happens is, it's done quick enough that's it. You go in, you have your operation, you're done, So the next thing, they said, we're going to transfer you to the specialist unit at Coventry, and you because I'd been at Nuneaton where I'd had the operation, and you just go in and see this bloke and he'll do a follow-up with you. So maybe I'd been at home for a few weeks after. So then I go in to see, so I had to then go and have a CT scan and blood tests and whatever. So I've had all that done. And then that's been sent to Coventry to this, but it was done at Nuneaton, was sent to Coventry. So I then got in to have this meeting with this professor, and he said, yep, your operation went really well, yeah, everything's, looks really good. He said, yeah, what we'll do is we'll just see you in 3 months' time, and we'll see how everything is. He said, he starts opening this pad, he said, oh, your results are not come back from Nuneaton for your scan and you what's it, but I can't see there being a problem, but, and I looked at him, but he went, I'll tell you what, to give you peace of mind, let me just get the nurse to, so he sends this nurse off. The nurse goes off, and then she comes back in. And she's looking at him like, and then she hands him this paperwork, and he said, well, I'm pretty sad to tell you that it's come back and it's showing that it's spread into your neck and your stomach. And I'm like, hold on a minute, 2 minutes before, you were describing everything was good, and we'd got the results back from this thing. He said, your lymph glands in your neck are up, your stomach are up, your lymph glands, it's obviously gone further than it was. Due to leaving me for 3 months with it there, keep giving me water infection tablets. Yeah. So the next thing, so this is why your head will be gone, because out of nowhere, he said, I'm going to send the nurse off, and you go off with the nurse and you get weighed. And I'm like, well, what's this for? He said, well, they have to weigh your body weight compared with what chemotherapy drugs you need. And he said, but we need to give you an intensive course of chemotherapy. You'll come over here into hospital, and you'll be in here for however long having chemotherapy treatment. I'm like, all right. But then the same again was like, you come in on 2 days after. He said, it was as if because you got dependents and we're going to give you the highest course. So It's a bit weird. I walk into this ward, and everybody on the ward, everybody's fast asleep. I'm thinking, what's going on here? This is middle of the day. But everyone's on this chemotherapy, intensive chemotherapy. So I have my first course. I go home, and then I'm standing in the shower, and I look down, and the plug hole's full of air. And I have to get my finger in the shower, get the air out, throw it home to the toilet, sit back there. Next thing, it's just coming down your body, and then and then it's just all coming out. A lad actually said to me before when I was having the course, he said, don't, because I thought I'll just shave my hair. He said, whatever you do, don't shave your hair. It's what I've done. He said, and then your hair follicles are only that big, and they all come out, but stick in your back and everywhere. He said, so just let it come out the whole lot, so it's just soft hair. And so next minute the toilet, next minute my hair's all gone, my arms are dropping, I can just feel everything's leaving, and then I'm back in on that chemo ward. There's some funny things out there. Oh. I'm on there one night, and I'm lying there, and I hear this bloke shout, Sheila, you've left the gas on. I'm like, okay, what's he on about? Sheila, you've left this gas on, you'll blow the house up. I thought, anyway, left it, but next minute the porter's come in, put his body in a bag, and off he's dead. In the morning, nurse comes in, she went, oh, do you want that bed by the window? Not a chance, no, I'm staying here. I'm not going that bed, never.
Oh, man.
There's a bloke in the bed next to me, 44. He said, I reckon I'm a goner, I am. I said, what do you mean? He went, well, I've been in here a few weeks now and they've not started any treatment on me, so what's that about? He got 2 young kids. Next minute, this professor comes in. I even remember all the names. I remember his name, the professor's name, everything. And there's only a thing between us. And he said, we've looked at all these results properly now, and it's spread in your stomach, through your stomach lining and all the way through. So there's nothing we can do for you. We'd say you've probably got 2 or 3 weeks left. You should go home and spend them with your family. So this bloke packs his stuff up then. He's about to leave, innit? Normally you'd say, all right, see you then. You just, what's happening here? So I'm in and out of there for however long. My mum lived in Tenerife at the time, so that was one of the worst things as well. So she lived in Tenerife, and she'd come home for the whole time. Because by this time, I'd fell out with the kid's mum, and I was living on my own. So when I was ill, my mum come back from Tenerife, and she'd take me over to the hospital and bring me back and whatever. And she'd be cooking for me every day and trying to force feed food down me because I can't eat it, I feel sick. Well, what can you eat? What? And I just remember one night I'm lying in bed. One morning I'm lying in bed and I felt this, presence over your face, like you could and I opened my eye, my mum's there. I'm like, what are you doing? She went, oh, nothing. I said, what was you doing? And she went to walk out there and I said, Mum, I need to know what you're doing. She said, I thought you'd stop breathing. Do you like somebody's mum to after? Do you like you with your own kids, Liam, having to do that was So one of the weirdest things was I said to my mum, I bought a camera, but a original camera with a film in it, 24 cameras, whatever. I said, I want you to take a picture of me every Friday. She's like, what for? I said, so when I'm better, I can look back and I can have a look at these pictures of how it went. She's looking at me as if, I don't want them pictures if you're dead. I don't want to look at them. So anyway, I took all them pictures. Now I can look back at them and see. So that went on for, people on about a week. I remember walking out to my van. There was some boxes there. So I picked up these 2 light boxes, threw them in the van, shut the van door. I walked back in the house and it's like I've done the heaviest set of weights I've ever done in my life. I've 2 boxes. Like you've seen them pictures, my legs are that thick, my arms were that thick. Yeah. And so when I come out, as I started getting better after all the treatment, so I'd gone on all the treatment, what they actually said to me is there's no trace in your blood. And I'm like, that's a good thing then. They said, not really, because we can't monitor whether the drugs are working for you. So normally, we could give you a month's worth of chemotherapy and then we'd have a look and you've gone down from 35 to 25. We know the chemotherapy is working. But because you've got no trace in your blood and it's only in your lymph glands, we could only do it by doing your CT scan like 3 months after, 6 months after, whatever. So for all this treatment and you're doing it, you still don't even know if it's working. So after that then, I went back in and they said, that's it, it's all, the lymph glands have gone back down, everything looks good. Touch wood, and then from that and then after that I just kept thinking there's a few places in my head I wanted to go. When I was a kid I used to watch these Vietnam War films and you're down in the tunnels and whatever. I wanted to go around Vietnam. I wanted to go Thailand. So straight after that, after I'd come round and I was fit enough and healthy enough, I went straight off to Thailand for 3 weeks. And that's where training started, really. I come back from there and then started Thai boxing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but then looked at life differently. It's, I don't need to earn all that money. I don't need to be at work anymore. But the business I'd set up, this seasonal one, was the right thing to do because then straight after that, all them markets, the whole lot, it was going shit anyway. They were going downhill all the time. So that was it then. I just packed the markets in. I've got some houses, I've got my rent off every month to give me an income, and then I've got the fireworks shop every season comes back round. So
what a story, mate, eh? I've always kind of looked at you as having a really good model for a jiu-jitsu lifestyle because you've obviously you sorted financially.
Thanks for listening to today's podcast. If you want to hear more from the BMA podcast, follow us on Spotify for full audios. You can find clip videos on the Bermuda Martial Arts YouTube channel, and finally search at Bermuda Martial Arts on Instagram for even more content. Feel free to comment opinions on the podcast and anyone you would like to see featured. Thanks for supporting.